Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the drive from the third largest city in North America, the rainy city today, Chicago, Illinois. My name is Mario Smith, and you're on the drive with Mario Smith here on Backchannel.tv. My goddaughter has apparently hit her head, and she's asking for a ridiculous sum of money from her mother, my friend. Uh, and she ain't gonna get it. And I'm just sitting here laughing at this text on my phone because it's funny. Welcome everybody. It's a big day today. Lots happening all around the country, and we're gonna try to get to all of it in the next couple of hours. Joining me from Portland, Oregon, is a man that has all the sense in the world. Because if you just saw this text, you'd have lost his mind. It's my man Jay Bliss. What's up, Bliss?
How's it going?
Buddy, this text is really wild. My goddaughter, I think she has slipped and hit her head.
Well, that's not good.
I mean, it might be good though. Maybe that might get her together because she just asked for a lot of money that apparently she thinks her mother just happens to have. Just 20-year-olds tend to think. Well, you better get ready for this, bro. 20-year-olds tend to think that their parents have money. I'm just a godparent. She knows I'm broke. But they tend to think their parents have money. So she is now soliciting everybody. And she's probably watching too, which is great because now she knows I'm busting her out. And in the midst of getting ready, I saw that. That's like, oh, wow. That's what I have to look forward to when I'm done. How are you?
I'm all right. Something happened with my chair right before we went on, and so I feel like I'm like way down here.
Are you shrinking? You do look like you're going
I am.
I'll join you in solidarity.
My seat just started to do the, where the pressure's not right, and it just let me down.
That's gonna be
but I'm
fine.
here.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to see you. Programming note: you may or may not be around tomorrow, or you may be really, really stoned.
I think it's looking like the latter, because I know Big Boss Man. He has a meeting, so he's here if we need him, but
okay.
he's not very available. So I think what'll end up happening is I will be here.
Yeah.
Well, I won't be here. I'll be in my bed on my lap, running the show off the laptop, and you can try to come to me for insight if you want, but that could be an interesting experiment. So we'll see what happens.
I'm totally doing it. All damn day. I'm doing it.
I'm gonna be coming down off of propofol or whatever the hell you give me to put me to sleep for 2 hours.
Oh, I'm doing it. You better put all the money you got on that. It's happening. There's been a big. I had to get off of Twitter, but what I'm now calling Trigger, for a little while because we are having the handshake line argument. And I'm like, why do you do it? The Major League Baseball doesn't do it. NFL doesn't really do it. All that stuff's intuitive. Hockey only does it during the Stanley Cup playoffs, and they don't really do it until they get to the playoffs of the series. It's a tradition. There's some dumbass traditions, and that would be one of them. Because I didn't think to mention this on Trigger when I was on there, but do you remember about, what is this, almost March? So this had to have been in December when the kid was in the handshake line and he punched the other kid in the face.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
And they were talking about ending the handshake line then, and it was cool. And everybody's like, yeah, we should end it. It's terrible. Now it's because it's Juwan Howard and this coach from Wisconsin. No way, you don't end the tradition of the handshake line. I'm like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
You don't need to do that.
For it. What do you need to do it for? How does that enhance the game at all?
I kind of like how the NBA does it now. Like, I mean, sometimes you'll see coaches embrace, but usually now coaches do the little
they do this,
hat tip wave, like see you next time. They don't. They don't need.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I'm just saying there's not really a need for it, and you're right. There are a lot of dumb traditions, and I think we've hit the point. Like, if baseball can move past some of these old traditions, then let's just start with a clean slate. If something doesn't make sense, let's just change it.
Look, if and I get it. People don't like seeing their traditions go away. I understand that. There are other traditions though that are absolutely awful and don't contribute to any aspect of our lives. What do you need a handshake line for? I mean, look, when COVID was at its height and there were basketball games being played, the few college games that were being played with no fans, I don't recall that handshake line happening. Maybe it was because of COVID,
right?
But I didn't miss it. I didn't feel like, oh my God, how dare them? People are really phony. And there's a bunch of keyboard warriors on here, like I got Buddy from yesterday, that talk a lot. But if you saw them in person, wouldn't say much. Don't be a keyboard warrior. Stand on what you say, man. I have more respect for you if you be you. Not like Matt Nagy be you. That's a bad be you. I mean, be you. Be yourself. Let's say hi to some passengers, man. See what they're doing. Steve is joining the stream. Hello, Steve. And Andrea is here. Tay is here in Illinois. Andrea's in Florida, by the way. Cole is here. And you're not a keyboard warrior, Tay. Stop it. J-Lo's in New York. Nathan and sometimes C is in Texas. Ken is joining us from California. Hello, Ken. How you doing? Got a couple of California stories. I need some guidance on California. April is here from Florida. Jaden's in Massachusetts. Bella's in Northern Virginia. Marley's in Alaska. Whoa. I had a friend of mine who went to college in Alaska, which I'm sorry, it was Nebraska, not Alaska. But I know someone actually that lives in Nebraska. Sunny in Indiana. Chandler. Verona is in New Hampshire. Deborah McIntosh. I know who that is now. That's Travis's mom, Bliss. Is in California. Yeah. Charles is here, and Amanda and Steve is in California, and some guy named Bliss is in Florida. Apparently, you have a clone.
I can't figure out why. I was looking at that yesterday, and I tried to figure it out. I actually went on my app, and I was like, how does it still say I must have left part of myself out in the middle of the ocean?
I think
it's symbolic. Yeah, it's.
Yeah. You made it quite clear that you had a good time, so maybe you did leave part of yourself floating around the ocean.
And I like Travis's mom too. She gave me a nice compliment when I was filling in for Travis.
She's really cool. She's super cool. Me and Travis are gonna make shirts because she said that she loved me, and then her next sentence was, "But not like that." So the shirt is, "I love you, Mario Smith, but not in that way." Like,
and we love all the passengers and all the people at Backchannel, but man, the family members that show up, that's important too.
Yeah, man, that's big stuff. The mere fact that everybody comes back, except for Buddy. Buddy hasn't made his opinions
I'm
known
watching
yet.
for him.
No, I'm looking for him too. But he's watching. I know he is, but it's fine. Because his robot's going to tell him what to do because he lives in some fantasy world where things tell him what to do and he just does them. Poor Buddy. Let's take a look at the headlines, man, of what's going on at the top of the hour. And again, thank you all for joining. By the way, before I do that, you can start with us early in the morning, 6 a.m. With Haley and Allison, 6 a.m. Eastern. At 8 a.m., it's The Great Liv Harrison. And then from 10 a.m. to noon, our buddies Jam and Renee, great show. You should be watching that. You should be watching everything on here. Also, Anthony Davis. Sir Anthony Davis is at noon. And then your pal Hal, who is really, there's something going on with Hal. Yesterday was Frozen Penis, and I missed it today. Whatever it was at the end. I only saw him saying goodbye, unfortunately, but I know it was something good. And his rejected segments, they really need to reconsider making those actual segments because those are always good. And he's on at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and you can catch him here on backchannel.tv. And he leads you right into us. And speaking of us, let's go to it. These are the headlines at the top of the hour. President Joe Biden ordered heavy U.S. financial sanctions against Russian banks and oligarchs today, stepping up the West's confrontation with Moscow, even as Russian lawmakers authorized President Putin to use military force outside their country. Biden, in a brief address from the White House, accused Putin of flagrantly violating international law in what he called the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine. and promised that more sanctions would be coming if Putin proceeds further. The president joined the 27 European Union members who unanimously agreed on Tuesday to levy their own initial set of sanctions targeting Russian officials over their actions in Ukraine. Germany also announced it was halting the process of certifying the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline from Russia, a lucrative deal long sought by Moscow but criticized by the U.S. for increasing Europe's reliance on Russian energy. The three white men convicted of murder in Ahmaud Arbery's shooting were found guilty of federal hate crimes today in a verdict that affirmed what family members and civil rights activists said all along, that he was chased down and killed because he was black. The verdict, handed down one day before the second anniversary of Arbery's death on February 23, 2020, was symbolic, coming just months after all three defendants were convicted of murder in a Georgia state court and sentenced to life in prison. But family and community members viewed the hate crimes trial as an important statement. The case also became part of a larger national reckoning on racial injustice after graphic video of Arbery's killing leaked online. And finally, the Supreme Court has agreed to hear a new clash involving religion and the rights of LGBTQ plus people in the case of a Colorado web designer who says her religious beliefs prevent her from offering wedding website designs to gay couples. The High Court said Tuesday it would hear the case of Lori Smith. The Denver area designer offers graphic and website design services and wants to expand to wedding website services. But she says her Christian beliefs would lead her to decline any request from a same-sex couple to design a wedding website. She also wants to post a statement on her website about her beliefs. Doing these things, however, would run afoul of a Colorado anti-discrimination law. Smith had argued the law violates her free speech and her religious rights. And that's what's happening at the top of the hour. When we come back, we'll dig deeper into the news with what's going on around the world. I'll look outside to see if it's still raining, make sure that my goddaughter hasn't completely lost her mind, and we will come back with you. And thank you for watching The Drive with Mario Smith. You're checking us out on Backchannel.tv, YouTube, and on your Amazon-supported devices. We will be right back. Welcome back to The Drive with Mario Smith. I'm Mario Smith here at Backchannel.tv. Well, I'm here at home, but it's Backchannel.tv. We want to thank the folks from the Promontory again for hooking us up. And I'm lagging. We okay over here? All right. Want to thank the folks from the Promontory for. Can you tell I'm lagging?
A little bit.
I'm uncomfortable with that. I'm used to. I don't like that anymore. That's not fun. I want to thank the folks on the Promontory for allowing us to do the show yesterday from there. That was a really good time. We'll be back, and I'm going to be scouting out other spots, Gliss, here in our beautiful city to go and sit for 2 hours where people won't bother me and let me do my show. But today, back at home, it's also raining. It's kind of messed up. Fake spring has hit Chicago. We're expecting 3 to 4 inches of snow on Friday. Right now, man, it's springtime. It's almost 50 degrees. Not a piece of snow in sight. It's beautiful, except for the rain. And the rain is beautiful too. And my goddaughter's losing her mind. This is buddy.
I was waiting for that part to come in.
Oh my gosh, she has really upped the ante on. I'm going crazy. 23 years old. God bless her. I hope she doesn't call me. I'm kind of wanting her to call me and ask me for this amount of money so I can do my Michael Jordan laugh on her. Remember from The Last Dance where you looked at the computer and you went, yeah, I'm doing that. There's a lot of news, and we will get to all of it, I promise. I just want to check one more time with our passengers to make sure that everybody is good. Marley says that his friends recommend that they watch me. So, hi. Hey, Marley, that's cool. Thank you. I hope they're not talking bad about me. Shenanigan is here. Oh. You know what that means. Cassandra, Daniel Jordan, and Donald, and Barbara is here. And Tete is saying, so hi. Oh, man. Why did your if you could elaborate, Marley, on why your friend said, and hi to you, by the way. What made your friend say to watch us? What was the deal? Is it my hats? Yeah. Well, that's you, Bliss. That ain't me. Also, you folks can go on backchannel.tv and leave a review of the show. I'm scared of that. But please leave a review of the show and jump in the chat with us. What brought you here? That's our first question of the day. What brought you to backchannel.tv? Just like Marley. Marley says that Marley's friends recommend that they watch. So watch and tell me what's up. You can go to backchannel.tv and get in the chat that way. Or you can go on YouTube and do it live, or on your Amazon supported device. You just start the sentence with say, you say the name of that Amazon supported device and tell them you want to get into the chat on the drive with Mario Smith. Don't be like Buddy, who said his robot told him to go. That's ridiculous. This isn't Boston Dynamics. Slow down. We haven't gotten it yet. And then the other question that I have, how do you feel about Twitter? You're for it or against it? Just curious. For Twitter or against Twitter? Again, same instructions. Backchannel.tv. Hello at backchannel.tv. Is that our email? I'm new.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I believe that's the I believe that's where you can go to leave a review. Here, I'll double check that, but yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know. I would have been saying that. To tell you the truth, we all just started our job like 26 episodes ago. Like, for real. I'm not making that up. So I don't know all the ins and outs. I know how to get fired, though.
Here.
I know how to get fired really well. I can do that. That's a universal thing.
Yeah, if you want to, it's backchannel.tv is a site. If you go to the site right now, then yes, you can click to join the chat and you can type in your comments manually like that. If you don't want to speak to your device, you can also leave a review and you can contact Backchannel at that email right there.
That would be nice. I mean, do what you want. You don't have to, but you should. I mean, because it would be very helpful. Hi, Tish. Welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. You're in Michigan. Michigan. What city in Michigan? Always curious. I love that state, man. Michigan is, being a Midwesterner, you know what I mean? You will find out just how dope the states around Illinois are, because after a while, it's like, I got to get out of here because I need a small break. But I love the state of Wisconsin. Just don't like the Packers. And I love Michigan. I was going to go to Michigan State at one point in my life, but that didn't work out. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Michigan. Michigan's all right with me. And Tish is here now, so waiting on Tina to show up.
I know.
She provided all that killer content the other day.
She did.
Let's see if we can get day 2 of that. One of the things that she talked about was this Ahmaud Arbery hate crime trial. And she was a little skeptical. Well, I don't want to say she was skeptical. It's really hard, although it shouldn't be hard. It's really hard to prove a hate crime, particularly in something like, um, uh, I'll say in a region of our country. It's hard to prove that. A region of our country that is notorious for hate crimes. But the three white men who murdered Ahmaud Arbery were found guilty today of a hate crime. Um, I'm wondering how much time is attached to that sentence because of the hate crime. Because you have to, first of all, I just want to message all you guys about social media. If you feel a certain way about a certain culture or group of people or sexuality, don't put it online. Because what got these dudes convicted was their Facebook comments, not more than the murder itself, but it did not hurt the case of the prosecution who was trying to get them convicted of these hate crimes. The jury was 8 white people, 3 black, 1 Latino. They got the case on Monday, deliberated for about 3 hours, came back, and it took them an hour, so 4 total hours. That could have been an email. That's rare, but it was pretty obvious that that's what they did. And as we were talking yesterday, in Portland, in Chicago, down south, in Minneapolis, in New York City, in Florida, all over this country, all over the world, actually, there's just a lot of angst and upset and anger, if you will. It would seem to me that the time is ripe to have these discussions that actually are meaningful discussions about how white people and black people feel about race, how we approach that, and how do we make this work so that stories like this go away and that ideology of hate just goes away, man. Ahmaud Arbery should be running through his town, jogging, doing what he was doing, living his life. It's sad, actually, that we have gotten to this point. For example, here's comment from U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland. He said the verdict makes clear that the Justice Department will continue to use every resource at its disposal to confront unlawful acts of hate and to hold accountable those who perpetuate them. Okay, that's cool. You know, there's the Breonna Taylor trial is about to come up. The trial of the 3 officers not named Derek Chauvin in Minneapolis, that's happening. There's a lot of cases in this country of black and brown people, men and women and children being murdered. I'm glad that this happened this way. I'm glad that the verdict was guilty. And I'm glad that they'll never see outside again. We hope. But I'm more worried about the future. Things don't happen like this it don't exist in a vacuum. You know what I'm saying? It's a bigger fight ahead of all of us. And it would be in our best interest to be prepared to fight. I don't think that's going to be the last time we talk about someone being murdered because someone hated whatever they were. And if we're going to be honest about it, the murders of transgender people in this country are ridiculous and they're super high. We need to do something about that. That's something that needs to be addressed. Soapbox over with. So everybody's like, oh, the Russians are going to invade the Ukraine. What are we going to do? Let me read this to you. We'll work this out together. I'm not a diplomat. I'm just saying we'll figure it out how to react to it together. In a stunning, historically revisionist national address Monday night, Russian President Vladimir Putin asserted that Ukraine has no right to be its own country and that it's Moscow's duty to protect Russian speakers in Ukrainian territory from a supposed deadly threat posed by Kiev. Putin's formal recognition of 2 pro-Russian breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine, followed swiftly by the deployment of Russian peacekeepers, was immediately condemned as a violation of the UN Charter and a pretext to launch a war of aggression against Ukraine. So I will just set it up as if this was here in the U.S. Okay, so let's say let's say Mexico was part of the United States. The United States is like, yo, go Mexico. Mexico finds their own way of freedom, and then a few years later, the U.S. goes, yeah, we just gonna occupy Mexico because that's ours, and that belongs to us. We take it back. And then subsequently, the rest of the world is like, well, we're going to take away all your food and your energy sources and everything else. And yeah, that's kind of how they're just basically gangstered Ukraine. And I thought it was the Ukraine. Did they take the away from it? Did the Russians steal the from the Ukraine? That's a question. Rather than providing long-sought answers about Putin's intentions and the global response to them, the moves opened up additional questions. Will Putin's peacekeeping force deploy only to the territory already controlled by the separatists, or attempt to secure the much larger areas in Ukraine claimed by the two republics? Either scenario could spark a border conflict. The latter would be a clear declaration of war. How severe and well coordinated will the initial U.S. and European sanctions be? And what would actually trigger the massive sanctions package the U.S., EU, and G7 have promised if Putin invades? I'm telling you, you take away the food, you can stop this conflict in 24 hours. Make it hard for people to eat. Everybody starts looking at Putin. He's like, all right, I'm good. A senior U.S. official suggested on Monday that a Russian deployment to the separatist-held territories where undeclared Russian troops have operated since 2014 was insufficient to trigger the border sanctions. Zelensky got on TV and said that President Zelensky of the Ukraine, said Ukraine doesn't want war and won't fall for Putin's provocations, but also won't hand over the contested Donbas region in the east. Then there's China. This is a mess. And it really does mean that everybody should pay attention to what is happening in the Ukraine. It is going down in Ukraine. And with that in mind, Europe is now pushing for secure energy. Surging energy prices and the Russia-Ukraine conflict have led European. Well, why are you going up instead of down? Man, Glitz, my computer. What's his face? Buddy must have hacked me because he was a 17-year guy. He got me.
Programmer. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a 17-year programmer. Surging energy prices and the Russia-Ukraine buddy and the Russia-Ukraine conflict are making European leaders. Hey, and my Alexa told me what the hell is this show? Are making European leaders think hard about energy security, particularly their decades-old reliance on Moscow for natural gas. The crisis shows Europe's vulnerability after years of limited progress in completing an energy union, a 2015 vision to allow affordable gas and electricity to flow across borders while diversifying suppliers and reaching climate goals. As renewables like solar and wind are slowly built up and coal and other fossil fuels are phased out, Europe still needs natural gas and it's dependent on Russia to get it. Look, this is the situation, and hear me out. So I painted the scenario about the U.S. and Mexico. Imagine Mexico or the U.S. is a major fuel source, right? And we got oil everywhere, and Mexico needs all this oil. Well, if they don't come back to us, we'll just take the oil and keep it for ourselves. We're not going to share that oil with Mexico. And the Mexicans are like, well, what's up with that? Why don't you go see what? Wait a minute. No, we're not. Sanctions will work. I don't think, although Putin, Biden, same guy, they moved the troops a little bit closer. So we'll see. But that's not why you called. You called to hear about something really, really tragic. If you are a student loan person, has this happened to anybody here? Are you getting student loan scams? I'm curious. Are people like saying, I work at a student loan company? Why does every voice I make sound like I drink beer and eat pizza on the north side of Chicago? Last night I was on the Chicago Game Show with my buddy Justin Kaufman and my man Goldie, radio icon Gene Sparrow, and my man Greg Pennant. And It's so Chicago, this show. I'll send you the link, man. It's on YouTube. It's the Chicago Game Show.
I want to
And
check it out.
oh my God, there was wine involved. And all night long, everybody was talking like that for no reason. I'm just going to go to the Jewel. Eh. Why do I sound like I'm from Hegwish? I don't mean to sound that way. Eh. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? All right. Like millions of Americans, off the rails again, Gliss. What time is it? We're not even an hour in. The show's already over.
I love it.
Hey, man, could be worse. I almost said something right out. Like millions of Americans, Emmy Ross has a bunch of student debt. Raise your hands if you have student debt. So when she started getting phone calls from people offering to help have the loans forgiven, she was immediately interested. The problem, they were scammers, asking for things such as her account details or credit card number. Ross figured out the con pretty quickly, but her mom, Jean Sue, was also getting the calls. Quote, I thought it was serious because they are so persistent, Jean Sue said. I said, I got a call again. So what is the story, you know? Ross tried to tell her mom they weren't real. Every time we would get on the phone, she'd be like, oh, did you call the student loan people yet? And every time I'd be like, Mom, it's not real. It's a scam, Ross said. Thankfully, the callers didn't get any information or payment details out of Ross or her mom, but not everyone has been so lucky. This winter, the Federal Trade Commission warned about an increase in student loan scams. Those scams prey on confusion. President Biden said during his campaign that he was open to forgiving some student debt, but that hasn't happened yet. Do you know something? What's funny to me? He promised that, and that could have been like the second thing he did, and everybody would have been cool. Everybody would be okay. Inflation, that's all right. You forgave my debt. Forgive the debt. Come on. Running down the ramp in Delaware. I'm running for president. I'm 99,000 years old, but I don't care. I'm going to do it. And then he goes, I'm going to forgive all the debt. I'm open to it. And they're like, yay, I'm forgiving it. And then he's like, I haven't even thought about forgiving any debt. I'm sorry. Come on, man, forgive the debt. How hard would that be? In the meantime, the federal government put federal student loan payments on pause during the pandemic. With that pause now set to expire at the beginning of May, people are anxious and scammers are swooping in. They're promising to reduce payments or even cancel student debt entirely if you give them your credit card number. They use social media, text messages, and phone calls, and the scripts are pretty convincing. One voice message says, hi, this is Shay with SLA Servicing. We're in the process of pre-enrollment for all loan forgiveness. It's going to be a bit more challenging as deadlines come. Some calls even sound like they're coming directly from the government, like this one. This message is from the Department of Education. All programs for student loan forgiveness will be stopped immediately. In order for you to qualify, you must apply within the next 24 hours. Andrea Matthews at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau said con artists were able to flourish because of a lack of information. Quote, when people can't get clear information that they need from their student loan servicers, they can become more susceptible to scammers, she said. If consumers had an easy, convenient channel of communication to their servicers, and they knew that if they had any question at all, they'd be able to call up their servicer and be able to get accurate, actionable information, then I think consumers would be in a far less vulnerable position than they are right now. How do you want to avoid these scams, you say? So if you get a call and you're concerned that it's a scam, what are some of the red flags? Oh, we love red flags. Matthews said a legitimate servicer will never ask you for your username or password. She also said servicers already had consumers' basic personal information, so they shouldn't be calling and asking for that either. But what do you do if you've already taken the bait? First thing to remember is you're not alone. Scams like this rely on a certain degree of embarrassment and shame from their victims so they don't report it when it happens. If you've given payment information, you want to call your bank and put a hold on that account immediately so that scammers are not able to extract more payments from you. Have you gotten anybody got one of these calls? One of the fake people? Hey, Denny's, how are you? In Iowa. Anyone on our passengers gotten a fake student loan call in the past few weeks? Because apparently they've been busy. I got a really cool device on my phone. I don't know if I should say. I guess I could say the name. It's called. I almost said Blackchannel. Then I almost said Blockchannel. Mercy. It's getting late. It is called. Here, I gotta find it. It's called Robo Killer.
Oh, I've
Robo
heard of that.
Killer is awesome. Oh my goodness! Because I got Ice-T as my voicemail. So he goes, "Yeah, you made a phone call," and it's like, and then he says something else. He's like, "Hello, yeah, this is yeah, you made a phone call, but he ain't here right now. What do you want?" And it's like, they hang up. And then I switched it to Samuel L. Jackson, which makes it even worse because he's Samuel L. Jackson. But it stops calls like this, so I can only imagine I've gotten a fair share of calls like that too. Tete said, nothing but calls for my car's extended warranty. And then he says, "They don't know I don't got a car."
I get those calls too, Tay. All the time.
Yeah, man. Cynthia's joined the stream, by the way. Hey, Cynthia and Matt and Maria. And I don't know why I can't screen down to see everybody, but Barbara, Cassandra, everybody, thank you so much. This is a good day today. We appreciate you guys being here, by the way. The student loan scam, man. Come on now. Let's get it together. Got to be careful out here. They are doing it all. By the way, the Department of Education estimates that about 45 million people have outstanding student loans, totaling more than $1.5 trillion. The mere idea of debt forgiveness is making a lot of people hopeful and may be more likely to return a scammer's phone call. I am not saying I have it. I'm just using my hands to demonstrate a person that might have student loan debt.
Definitely.
It is so crazy. Student loan debt. I think I really do. I think if he just says, you know what, screw it, eliminate the debt. Debt forgiveness is a thing. It's not going to hurt the economy. It's going to help it.
It's going to help. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Think about all the stress that puts financially on people, especially, you have people that are just coming out of college that are trying to get into the workforce, and they come out in debt with, it's like, just think of all that extra money that you don't have to worry about, spending on paying back your college tuition for 10, 20 years.
Right. That's weird. You would have to be there are people who are privileged who student debt isn't a thing. I'm not talking about like scholarship athletes or anything like that, or people who got academic scholarships. Not talking about that. I'm talking about people who got money. They're super privileged. So coming out of college, they're good. What's the worst that's going to happen to them? But most people coming out of college are like, yo, how am I broke? I just got a degree. Nah, good luck. You're better off at McDonald's with that degree now. That's crazy. That's troubling to me. That degree means nothing sometimes, and you have to be really careful in that moment of making that decision about college or not, because you're thinking about debt.
It shouldn't be that way.
No, not at all. So everybody's 3G, if you're on 3G still, is going to end, but it's sparking fears, and in the 3G service is sparking fears of an Alarmageddon. That is so good, Alarmageddon. Which I'd have thought of that. AT&T's planned shutdown of its 3G network today has sparked fears that home security systems, medical alert monitors, and a range of other devices will stop working. Carriers have previously retired networks, but this transition is proving more complicated because the pandemic hindered companies that rely on 3G services from making upgrades. Plus, there are just more devices to manage. AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon are all planning to shut down their 3G networks this year to support new 5G services. Stop now. AT&T, which first announced plans to sunset its 3G network in 2019, says less than 1% of its mobile data traffic runs on that network. But an alarm industry group says roughly 2 million devices powering burglar intrusion alarms, fire alarms, and personal emergency alerts will go offline. The Alarm Industry Communications Committee said the pandemic hindered technicians' ability to get into homes to upgrade devices and source materials, and has asked the Federal Communications Commission to force AT&T to delay its plans. It's too late. They're doing it today. How are they going to delay a plan? T-Mobile will sunset its 3G on July 1st, and Verizon plans on ending theirs by the end of 2020. Today is 2/22/22. This is not going to happen again for a while. You probably won't be around when it does. I don't think. The extremely rare date is full of opportunities for palindrome enthusiasts as well as wedding chapels, eateries, all sorts of businesses, and of course, regular people going about their, did we mention, numerically extraordinary day. Aziz Inan, a professor of electrical engineering at the University of Portland in Oregon. Look at Gliss, you get more play, man, with Portland. God bless you. Says that it's worth celebrating however you can. These symmetric dates have what I call magic power, he says. It's amazing how when you share, you know. You have to wait 100 years to experience this again. I can't imagine it doing anything else but spread positive energy and make people have fun. He points out that if you write the date in full according to the calendar system in which the day goes before the month, it comes out to 22/02/2022, another rare 8-digit palindrome date. Such full dates do not repeat. As neat as the numbers on the calendar are, they don't necessarily signify anything on their own. But it's 2/22. We call it Learner Day in Illinois, Jay Gliss, for Lerner and Rowe, the law firm. The traffic injury ambulance chaser dudes with Flavor Flav in their commercials. So it's 2/22/22 day today.
You know, I was just interested in the discounts. That's the only thing I was interested in.
Are there discounts?
Yeah. No, apparently in certain areas of the country, yeah, they're doing discounts like 22% off. I think there was a bunch of fast food places, Krispy Kreme.
I know which state or what city they're not doing discounts in. Discount. That would be great. I would love to get
22% is a lot too.
A lot. And today is National Margarita Day too.
I know, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's happening right after I get out of here. Straight for margaritas. I'm gonna try to do 2 of them.
I didn't even know until later, until I was prepping the show this morning, and now I'm kind of disappointed I didn't buy any tequila. But
about Margarita Day?
Yeah.
But you can't do that tonight, man. You gotta,
I know. I gotta be careful. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
I might have one drink with dinner, and then I'm drinking lots of water today. I'm gonna have a big meal and try to go to bed early. So
I'm not gonna bother you. I'm not gonna bother you. We'll talk later. I just thought about something.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that I don't want to be sending you crap. You're like, I'm never sending them because you're high as a kite. So I got to think about how I'm going to do this. Real quick before we step off of this wonderful platform here. McDonald's has gone on the defensive as Carl Icahn escalates pig welfare fight. I don't eat pork, so it doesn't really affect me, I guess. But Carl Icahn is a activist, a wealthy, really wealthy activist. McDonald's, however, didn't pull punches after activist investor Carl Icahn launched a proxy fight over the weekend to pressure the fast food giant over the treatment of pigs used in its pork products. Icahn, who has become known for aggressive activist campaigns targeting companies he views as inefficient, is asking McDonald's to prioritize an issue other than profit. McDonald's said on Sunday what they said they probably couldn't repeat, but what they said on Sunday that Icahn had nominated 2 people for board seats. The move was first reported by the Wall Street Journal. At issue is the way McDonald's suppliers treat pregnant pigs. Icahn and the Humane Society of the United States have asked the company to end the practice of keeping sows in confined spaces known as gestational crates. In 2012, the company promised to phase out the practice within a decade. It said on Sunday that it expects to source 85% to 90% of its U.S. pork volumes from sows not housed in gestation crates during pregnancy. At the time, the Humane Society applauded the move, but the organization has since become critical of McDonald's effort and said it fears that the company will move to reduce the practice by its suppliers rather than end it. In a statement, McDonald's fired back at the activist investor, saying the current pork supply in the U.S. would make this type of commitment impossible. Furthermore, it reflects a departure from the veterinary science used for large-scale production throughout the industry and would harm the company's shared pursuit of providing customers with high-quality products at accessible prices. The company claimed Icon owns just 200 shares of McDonald's stock, is the majority owner of a company that produces and supplies packaging for the pork and poultry industry. It added that it's noteworthy that Mr. Icon has not publicly called on this case to adopt commitments similar to those of McDonald's 2012 commitment. Icon told the Wall Street Journal earlier this month that, quote, animals are one of the things that I feel really emotional about, close quote, adding he feels particularly affectionate toward pigs. Word? That's word? All right. It really is Margarita Day today, Tay. Act accordingly. Steve and David and Sam and Matt and Alan, first time on the stream. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody that's here. That's new. Truly appreciate your patronage. We all say it a lot. We really mean it, man. Thank you for being here. Alan's in Australia. What day is it in Australia? Is it like next week Thursday? Isn't that how the time works?
I think it's 18 hours, isn't it? So
it's either 18 or 19, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 18 hours ahead. So it's Thursday.
Or no. Yeah. No, it's Wednesday. Late Wednesday.
Oh yeah, it's almost Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming. I'm glad you're here. Sorry if we messed up on the time, but thanks, man. We come back with a real quick community report. I'm going to talk about a burglar bear and the missing women in California. We'll be back in a moment. It's The Drive with Mario Smith here on Backchannel.tv, YouTube, and your Amazon supported devices. We'll be back right after these words. The 500-pound black bear. Have you seen the pictures of this bear? Call him Hank the Tank, and he has struck again. This 500-pound black bear has damaged more than 30 properties around Lake Tahoe, and last week broke into yet another home in an endless quest for a quick meal. Known by residents as Hank the Tank, the giant bear has eluded capture for more than 7 months. This is in South Lake Tahoe, California. Quote, what's problematic about this bear is how large it is, close quote. Peter Tira, a spokesman for the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, told the AP. It's learned to use that size and strength to break into a number of occupied residencies, bursting through the garage door or front door. It's pretty frightening. The bear is responsible for more than 150 incident reports in the region straddling Northern California and Nevada. A Friday break-in at a residence in the Tahoe Keys neighborhood is the latest, according to CBS Sacramento. The bear smashed a window and squeezed into the house on Catalina Drive while the residents were at home. Police responded and banged on the outside of the house until Hank exited out the back door and disappeared into the woods. Also known as Jake or Yogi or simply Big Guy, the bear is what Tira described as a severely food-habituated bear that has lost all fear of people and thinks of them as a food source. Doesn't that go both ways? Couldn't that, I think of you as a food source, mean I think I may eat you? Bear is 500 pounds. How are you fighting that bear? Word? You about to, what? No, you're not. You're not fighting that bear. No, you will not. If you're in South Lake Tahoe, California, which is why I said I have so many questions about California. If you're in South Lake Tahoe, California, and a 500-pound bear is roaming through your neighborhood, because they're gonna end up doing something to that bear, tranquilizing it, and getting it away or something. Be careful, man. And here's another story in California. This is very serious. Not that the 500-pound busting through your crib like the Kool-Aid Man isn't serious. And this is Yurok Reservation in California. The young mother had behaved erratically for months, hitchhiking and wandering naked through 2 Native American reservations in a small town clustered along Northern California's rugged Lost Coast. But things escalated when Emily Riesling was charged with arson for igniting a fire in a cemetery. Her family hoped the case would force her into mental health and addiction services. Instead, she was released over the pleas of loved ones and a tribal police chief. The 33-year-old college graduate, an accomplished traditional dancer with ancestry from 3 area tribes, was last seen soon after walking across a bridge near a place marked End of Road, a far corner of the Yurok Reservation where the rutted pavement dissolves into thick woods. Her disappearance is one of 5 instances in the past 18 months where indigenous women have gone missing or been killed in this isolated expanse of Pacific coastline between San Francisco and Oregon, a region where the Yurok, Hupa, Karuk, Tolowa, and Wyatt people have coexisted for millennia. 2 other women died from what authorities say were overdoses, despite relatives' questions about severe bruises. The crisis has spurred the Yurok tribe to issue an emergency declaration and brought increased urgency to efforts to build California's first database of such cases and regain sovereignty over key services. That is so sad. Not good, man. Not good. Not good at all. And then if that doesn't get you to thinking, boy, that's sad. Bliss, you got children, and I gotta ask you, when you heard about the father that got arrested for ordering his son, who was 4 years old, to shoot at police in a McDonald's drive-thru in Utah, what did you think when you heard that?
I mean, honestly, what do you say about something like that? I mean, there's so many bad things on so many different levels. The irresponsible part, but it's just like it goes back to our old saying, what are we doing? Like that's probably the best way to describe it, because I'm curious to know what this guy was going through for him to think, to put his child through that. I mean, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. What he was asking his child to do is bad enough, but to put your child through that and use them that way, I don't understand that.
Well, why are you teaching your 4-year-old son how to handle a gun? What's going on in Midvale, Utah? That a child, what the hell are y'all doing? What are we doing? There we go, we're back. What are we doing? Why does a kid have to learn how to fire a gun at police? It's already hard enough out here. Yo, man, I hope that he never, ever gets out of jail. They need to get those kids, brainwash them, and get them the hell out of there. You taught your 4-year-old
real role models.
Oh my God. How do you do that? How do you teach a child to shoot a gun? So that means he's not the only little boy out here like a gunslinger. Man.
Not only to teach him how to shoot the gun, but then to ask him to go do your dirty work for you.
Yeah. What kind of sucker motivation is that? That is way out. With no impunity. He's like, shoot him, son. And the son can barely talk, so he's like, sure. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, man. Woo. When I saw it, I was like, yo, that sounds crazy. Oh, all right. Man. But the dad was arrested because he kind of deserved it. Anthony has joined the stream. Thank you. Theo is also in Alabama. Theo's joined the stream. Gabe, Ronnie, and Cohen. Thank you all. There are a lot of Steves. This can't be the same Steve. I'm gonna go with there's multiple Steves. Because if it's like one Steve that keeps logging off and logging on, Steve, come on now, don't do that. Anthony said, "Yes, that is crazy about that man taught his damn son how to shoot. I can't get a 4-year-old to go walk away, let alone shoot a gun. So this 4-year-old's an advanced little boy."
I was going to say, I have a 4-year-old, so it's pretty shocking to think about because, I mean, that's a really great age if you have kids. Like a 4-year-old is like just in between, like they're not a toddler anymore, but they're not,
right.
You know, they still say a lot of really cute things. And I cannot imagine having a 4-year-old and being like, all right, let's go do this. Like
today is survivalist training. We're about to get out here and get our shoot on because we're in Utah and God knows we got to protect ourselves at all costs here in Midvale because something might happen, or at least we would hope, because again, we're in Midvale, Utah. That is wild. I've heard a lot of 2022. 2020 is like going hold my beer because this is wild. This is crazy.
That might be one of the worst stories we've done on this show so far.
I would think so.
When you consider just everything involved, yeah, that's
right,
nuts.
Man. Oh God! All right, I need a drink behind that one. That's crazy. Let's take a break. I need to cleanse my mind. I'm a 4-year-old shooting a damn gun. When we come back, we will talk more about a bear. But wait, before we go, how about the bear? So this bear, so it was cute until he started busting into people's houses, huh? He's 500-pound bear. Can you imagine?
He doesn't look cute to me. He looks like an angry bear.
He looks like, yo, where is all the food? That bear don't look like Yogi. He doesn't have on a pork pie hat. He doesn't have an adorable partner named Boo Boo. He's mad.
Yeah.
That bear is mad as hell. America, you gotta love it. That bear is like, yo, I'll show you all. I'm about to bust it at everybody's house in Lake Tahoe. And what do you do if you're in the house and a bear comes through? What if that bear turns on a human? Are you going to do like Sidney Poitier in that movie and go, ah?
And black bears. Yeah, black bears can be pretty aggressive. They're not as big as like, you know, a big grizzly bear, but they're big enough and they're not as afraid of humans.
Man, they could care less about a human. Peace, human. About to eat everything. No picnic basket. It's going down. We're going to take a break. We come back with news from the top of the hour, and we will have entertainment news in this next 15 minutes or so, too. Thanks for watching The Drive. A lot of people with us today. We appreciate all of you guys being passengers on The Drive. Might have to get a bigger boat. That's good. It's The Drive on Backchannel.tv, YouTube, and your Amazon-supported devices. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. This is The Drive with Mario Smith here on Backchannel.tv. You're also watching us on YouTube, and you're checking us out on your Amazon-supported devices as well. I'm Mario Smith. I'm here in Chicago, Illinois. Joining me is my man, Jay Gliss. It's the top of the hour. Gliss, what's up in Portland, Oregon, my man?
It's cold and windy.
Sweet. That's it.
So not much.
There you go.
I don't like the wind. I can deal with the cold. I hate when it's windy and cold, like blustery. I don't like that.
It is rainy, and a little while ago it got really dark, and then it got light again. It's kind of weird. It's fake spring in Chicago, so everybody's out here thinking it's like 90 degrees, and again on Friday it's supposed to be 4 inches of snow. So
we'll it's kind of like that's kind of what it's been. It's been swapping back and forth here because apparently when I was gone last week, it was beautiful. It was like 60 degrees all week, and it was sunny. And then I came back home on Sunday night, got off the plane after traveling all day, and it's like 30 degrees out and then windy. So
yeah, that's crazy. Hey, Brad is here. It's his first time or her first time. I would hope that Brad would be a guy.
What's up, Brad?
What's up? What's up, Brad? or that's our buddy, and he changed it from Brad to Bread. See what I did there?
Could be.
Paul's on the stream, so is Anthony and Steve and Gabe and Ronnie and Cohen, and it's Brad. I'm sorry, Brad. Brad, where are you from? David Cynthia, Tay Cole, Brad. David Cynthia, Tay Cole, J-Lo, Nathan and sometimes C, and everybody else. Peace, everybody. Thank you for being on the drive today. And thank you, Brad. You'll see me going to my nose a lot. It didn't happen one time at the promontory. I definitely have something around my desk that is it's driving me crazy. It is so irritating. I want to rub my face off, but I can't. One, I need my nose, but I want to just rub this one off and all that. I can hear you, Brad, but I can't hear you. Where are you from, Brad?
It says Bread Fred now.
No, it says Fred. I see Brad on mine. It says Fred.
Yeah, I see. That's where it says he's from.
Oh, he's from Fred. Bread from Fred. All right, look, I haven't had a drink yet.
Minnesota. He says down. Minnesota. There we go.
Okay, cool. There you go.
He's not too far from him.
No. I have my Minnesota stories, and we're gonna just keep all those stories to myself and move along. Thank you guys for watching the drive today. Lots coming up in the second hour of the show. Entertainment news, some sports, and then we have a story that we want to leave you with. Yesterday, if you missed us talking about Dylan T. Pickles, well, you missed it. My new favorite mascot of all time. I thought about Dylan Pickles all night last night, just how ridiculously wonderful that the Portland Pickles have a mascot rather, who looks like he has enjoyed all of the legal marijuana that's available to him in Oregon. It is something I love in a way I can't describe. Shout out to Gliss's wife, Lindsay, for making sure that we talked about Dylan T. Pickles. And I promise you, I'm getting a Pickles hat for sure.
I could probably hook you up with a Pickles hat.
Man, I have if they got fitteds, I wear a 7.5. I don't even need a fit. I don't care. I just have to have something with Dylan. Right, I got to have something with Dylan T. Pickles' face on it. That is an absolute must. T-shirt, hat, and I'll wear it. I will wear it throughout Chicago, and people will be like, "What's that?" And I go, "Sit down, because this is a long story."
You don't
know? Where you been? Dylan, son. And Dylan apparently has the hookup on the finest strains in the world, because he's looking at that face. He looks like a dude that you know what's funny, man? And I'm not being funny. I don't want to bust my friend out, but he looks like somebody I know, like for real. That is always high all the time, and that's probably why it's so I know funny that friend. To me. Yeah,
everybody has one of those friends.
Yes, dude. It could be Easter Sunday. He could be at church, and he'll just give you the look like, "Hey," it's like, "Damn, man, it's church day." Word, really? Yeah. This is the greatest mascot ever, man. I'm telling you.
We might have to. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you don't know, you're about to find out, because I'm gonna make Dylan T. Pickles a superstar. What were you about to say?
I was gonna say, in honor of March Madness, maybe we should do some kind of little tournament or something for the best mascots of all time.
I think we should. You know what?
Because there's got to be some other Dylan Pickle type mascots out there in the world, some obscure mascots that people need to see.
You know what, passengers? If you are in a college town, or if you got a minor league baseball team in your town, or you got an unusual mascot for your city, put it in the chat and let us know. You can also reach me on what's that thing I said I wouldn't get on again? Trigger. It's at Mario in Hyde Park on Twitter. Trigger. I'm calling it Trigger today because people trying to trigger me and make me step out my body. No, son, that's not what I do. Not 2 hours before a show, so my show can be ruined. I left Trigger saying I have business to handle. I'll be back after I handle my business. But if you got an unusual mascot in your town, hit me on Twitter at Mario in Hyde Park. I'll create an email address for this show. That's the one thing I haven't done. Hit me at Mario in Hyde Park and tell me, and if you can include a photo of your unique mascot, that would be great. And we'll enroll them in our tournament of the Dylan T. Pickles mascot tournament because he is by far the king. Outside of Benny the Bull and my buddy Southpaw here in Chicago, I've never seen anything quite like Dylan T. Pickles, man. That is just so good. Oh man, it's right up there with washing your clothes. I mean, your dishes with ranch dressing.
That's right. You know how many people I told that story to yesterday? It's like after we got off the air.
Yes, it's true. Oh, yeah. You know, I ordered groceries again today just to see if I was going to get the dishwashing liquid because I really didn't feel like going to go get it. And it was there, and it had been there all that time. That dude just wanted me to listen to his demo. I haven't checked to see if he actually left the demo. I will have a report tomorrow.
Yeah, we might have. I mean, I'm curious to see if it's any good.
I bet it's great because of the way the manner in which he doesn't care about his actual job and how passionate he is about his
he's confident
future job.
Yeah,
there's no way in hell that this song is going to be whack. It's going to be great.
He's like, don't worry, I got it figured out already.
I can't differentiate salad dressing from dishwashing liquid, but I know how to make some really cold-blooded beats, bro. You a producer, bro? Oh, I'm never gonna forget that day. That was great. And I know people think making that. Wish I would have had the creative mind to make that up. That's crazy. All right, let's do headlines real quick, and then we'll have more merriment and maybe some mirth. The 3 white men convicted of murder in Ahmaud Arbery shooting were found guilty today on federal hate crimes, and a verdict that affirmed what family members and civil rights activists said all along, that he was chased down because he was black. Ukraine's leader has called up some military reservists. The Ukraine president on Tuesday night in the Ukraine announced he was calling up some of the country's military reservists as the threat of a Russian invasion grew, but he added there was no need for a full military mobilization. And finally, the High Court takes a case involving refusal to serve gay couples. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a new clash involving religion and the rights of LGBTQ people in the case of a Colorado web designer who says her religious beliefs prevent her from offering wedding website designs to gay couples. It's 9 minutes after the hour. When we come back, we'll have our entertainment report. Have no fear, the camera's here. Bud, welcome. Tete says he was censored, and doesn't the North Carolina University have the, I don't know what you were saying. Thomas and Brittany, thank you all for coming. Bread in Minnesota, peace bread, and I hear you. We'll be right back after these words. Shout out to Dylan T. Pickles. It's The Drive with Mario Smith, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. The things you don't see, the show within the show, me doing a speed test because the internet is lagging so desperately bad. Now it's good again. Come on, you guys. This is. We'll talk more about my internet problems later. Having enjoyed its share of success with The Blacklist and various imitators, NBC treads similar terrain with The Endgame. Anybody seen this yet? Whose major wrinkle and upgrade involves casting Marina Baccarin, icily similar to her early V role. I liked her in V. As a mysterious femme fatale, slickly made and fast-paced, it makes for an enjoyable thriller, although it's a dice roll as to how long that can last. Like The Blacklist, which has lingered past its expiration date. Hey, be cool. My man Harry Lennox is in The Blacklist. The series opens with Baccarin's Alina Fedorova, an international arms trafficker with just a touch of Natasha Fatale accent and plenty of gleaming menace in her eyes, taken into custody by the FBI. But it's quickly demonstrated that she's playing a much bigger game and steps ahead of them, with her operatives hitting 7 banks around New York City toward what in remains. Boy, I want to be a doggone proofreader so bad, toward what end remains to be determined. You've messed with the wrong woman, Elena informs her captors, later warning them, don't poke the tiger with a short stick. Ooh, that's tough talk. Although the big brass are predictably clueless, one agent, Val Turner, First Wives Club's Ryan Michelle Both, has a history with Fedorova, recognizing the scope of the plot. Yet she comes with baggage in the form of her disgraced husband, while clearly representing the only person on the other side of the chessboard that the criminal mastermind respects. Like Blacklist and indeed many network crime dramas, Endgame proceeds on a densely serialized path, laying out not only this elaborate plot, but flashbacks involving Elena's upbringing and marriage to Sergei, the American's Costa Ronin. Good actor. A structure that does provide some hope of teasing this out for a while. That said, The Blacklist worked best during that initial introduction to Reddington, becoming more tedious as it piled up red herrings and kicked the can down the road. One benefit here is that the conflict feels more focused, setting up a classic battle of wits between the central duo, with Elena having seemingly calculated each potential scenario and anticipated every eventuality. The Endgame is a show that you can see on the National Broadcasting Company. Now, has anyone seen Bel Air yet? Gliss, you seen it?
I have not watched it yet. It's kind of like it's been on my radar. I haven't dove in yet. I am gonna watch it at some point, but
I don't want to provide spoilers, but it ain't the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. This is a whole different vibration, man, and it's
that's what I've heard.
Man, it is kind of heavy. Will Smith is a genius in this respect. The fact that he had the nerve to suggest a reboot based on an independent filmmaker's shorts that they were making for YouTube, it's brilliant. The filmmaker's name was Morgan Cooper. He reimagined the Fresh Prince of Bel Air as a modern drama, and Smith saw it, and with the backing of Will Smith, it's now on Peacock. He announced it in 2020. It took him a while to get it, but Bel Air is definitely darker, and having a new Will, played by Jabari Banks, takes some getting used to for those who love the original. And it's just everything is different. The characters are all reimagined. Jeffrey's like this gangster. Carlton has some issues. I don't want to give out too much of it, but you gotta watch it if you can. I think we're allowed to say that you can watch things. So yeah, watch it if you can. It is, oh boy. They are not paying. And this makes me sad, man. And I know I probably shouldn't be sad about television shows coming to an end, but after 25 seasons, Arthur is coming to an end. I got a
crazy
grown man who used to watch Arthur, and my god kids all watched it, and I liked it too, and it was good and very funny, and a lot of memes have come out of Arthur. Kathy Wall first revealed that PBS Kids plan to bring the iconic children's series to a close during an interview on the Finding DW podcast over the summer. Executive producer Carol Greenwald said reruns will continue to be available on PBS Kids. Arthur is the longest-running kids animated series in history and is known for teaching kindness, empathy, and inclusion through many groundbreaking moments to generations of viewers, Greenwald said in a statement. Arthur is aimed at children ages 4 to 8. It stars 8-year-old Aardvark Arthur and his family and friends. And Waugh told the podcast, Arthur is no longer in production. Excuse me. We had our wrap party 2 years ago. I think PBS made a mistake, and I think Arthur should come back, and I know I'm not alone in thinking that they made a mistake. She continued, I don't know if it was a ratings issue or if it felt like it needed to be retired. To me, it felt evergreen, like it was never going to end, but it did end. That is sad, man. I love that show. You know how many children have watched? I bet Arthur was a big part of your kid's life.
It was. I remember my little brothers watching it. So I saw it as a kid as well. And yeah, I've seen with 4 kids, I've seen in various different ages. I've seen a lot of different child shows come and go. And that one definitely stands towards the top, and you can understand why it was on the air so long. But yes, that is kind of sad.
Do you have a big family? Like you got a lot of brothers and sisters?
I have 2 younger brothers. And my wife has 2 sisters. Yeah.
I got a bunch of half brothers and sisters. And it's a big family. It's a huge family. The reason why I bring this up, it's sometimes like, is it more fun to have a bunch of siblings or just like 1 or 2? Kiki White, who is an R&B singer, is about to have her 11th child. That's the story. She's about to have her 11th child.
That's it.
I don't have it to that. That's it. She's about to have her 11th kid. And Kanye West's Donda 2 will only be available on his STEM player streaming platform and live stream at IMAX theaters. I see it. I see why he's doing it that way. I'm just like, yo, it's gonna be like this week, next week.
Does it cost like $200 or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, I'm trying. Of course, because whatever's going on with the internet today, here I'm gonna have to find a new place to do my show. This is crazy. It's not allowing me to do it. Yeah, that's wild. This woman having 11 kids is wild, and my internet deciding today is the day that it doesn't want to work is wild too. But 11 kids, Gliss, that's a lot of fun. Man. That's a happy family. Her husband Zachariah is a G because,
that's nuts.
One person, 11 children.
I have a lot of kids, and I'm only a quarter away there.
You got to. Hey, Lindsay.
That's how I'm thinking about it.
Lindsay, run out of the house. Start running. Bliss wants to have 7 more children.
No more kids. Nope. No, she was the one that would have, continued to have children, and I was like 4. I would have been good with 3. 4 was like maximum. Like it was like, okay, we'll have 1 more, but we're having it now.
Man.
And then we're done.
And then we're done. They all get raised around the same time, and get to enjoy each other's company together. We're not gonna have. I know folks with big spaces between kids, like 13 years. Some people. I got a couple of friends. They're not friends, but a couple of people I know my age that are talking about having children, and I'm like, yo. Again, do you want to be the old man in high school? I don't. Marley said, that's not a zodiac sign. I didn't give my zodiac sign, but if you must know, I'm a Cancer. Gliss, when's your birthday?
Yeah, I think she was asking. I'm a Sagittarius, December.
Oh, your birthday passed. Happy birthday, brother. Yeah. Amber says, find my phone. You're talking to your robot. I don't know where your phone is. And I don't know where you're at in the United States, Amber, but I'm pretty sure you weren't at my house and you didn't leave your phone. And Dave is here and Donnie is here. I hope that I admit that when I said it yesterday. I hope that's Donnie Harrison, man. You know how cool it would be to be friends with Donnie Harrison? Because he seems like a really cool dude. Dave is in the state of confusion. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know when, but I knew someone was going to put confusion for a state. Dave, you are the passenger of the show. Thank you. You won that today. I like your hat and your glasses. Well, thank you, Marley. I appreciate that. Marley, where are you from again? Because I cannot scroll down on
it says Alaska.
Oh, word. Okay. Well, hey,
I'm actually going to Alaska in May. First time.
Wow. Dude, you get around. You're just
this is
you know what? It's Marley now, Molly. Sorry. It's gonna be Marley.
Okay. Molly in Alaska. Yeah, this is kind of like special circumstances because the rock cruise was my dad's thing. That was like his big thing. He wanted to take me. And my parents cruise all the time. Yeah. I mean, that's how they vacation. And they had for years been wanting to take our whole family on a cruise. So I'm going with my parents and one of my brothers and his wife and their child to Alaska.
Nice.
So
look at the boy.
This has been kind of a trip that's like a long time coming.
I had a really good time. It was a brief chat, but talking to your dad, he was pretty fired up. He didn't care who he was talking to on the phone. He was fired up. He wanted to see Deep Purple. He's like, screw you, I love you, man.
I think his words were, "Hey, what's up, man? We're in line for Deep Purple. I'm feeling good," or something.
He's feeling good. Yeah, he said something like that. That's exactly. He was feeling great. I'm glad that happened. That was really cool to do that. And of course, I'm like, let me talk to your dad, but you did it, and I appreciate that. Let's take a break. Come back with some sports stuff, man. A lot to talk about here. People are very, very angry about Juwan Howard not getting fired. I think it's hilarious. We'll be back with more of The Drive in just a moment. This is Backchannel.tv. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Drive with Mario Smith. Both of the lights in my kitchen have gone out, so if it's dark, I'm sorry. I don't even know what I look like because I'm not looking at the screen. Oh, it's not bad. I had to open up the other window. There's a window right here. You know what? Screw it. See? And it's I can't open that one because it'll wash me out. But the windows behind me are out. The windows. You see it too much. You see it too much. And as I said before, that's a painting by Raymond Anthony Thomas, a mixed collages, Black Panther and Nelson Mandela and other stuff. It's sports time. Did anybody watch the Olympics? Really? Because I don't think so. Apparently, Winter Olympic viewership. What the hell? My chair almost abandoned me. Beijing Olympic viewership is at an all-time low. The smallest primetime audience for any Winter Olympics game on record. In total, ratings for the Beijing Games were down 36% from the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang. Opening ceremony viewership for the Beijing Games earlier this month fell to an all-time low this year. But the Winter Olympics drew a sizable digital audience per NBC. The network said the event was streamed for a total of 4.3 billion minutes across digital and social media, making it NBC Universal's most streamed Winter Games ever. In total, 160 million Americans watched NBC's Beijing Olympics presentation at some point during the past 2.5 weeks across NBC, its streaming service Peacock, and other digital platforms per NBC. Live TV viewership for the Olympics has been plummeting for years, but the declines have been exacerbated by the pandemic, geopolitical tensions, and time zone headaches. Primetime ratings for the Tokyo Olympics last year were down 42% from the 2016 Summer Games. Neither this year's Winter Games nor the 2020 Summer Games had fans in the stands. The past 3 Olympic broadcasts have all been in Asia, which means major moments often break on social media, or often broke on social media before they aired on NBC in prime time. The Super Bowl, for example, everybody watched that. Award shows seem to be declining faster as well, though. And networks are going to need to reassess which tentpole events are worth the heavy broadcast right fees and which ones aren't. And if I'm not mistaken, NBC paid a lot of money to be able to broadcast the Olympics for the next few years. Not a little bit of money either. A lot, like billions of dollars. Man, got to know how to spend your money. It's a new age. Do you need all that? Trying to find some Champions League scores here as I get ready to talk about them possibly moving the Champions League from Russia. The final is set to be in Russia this year on May 28th at the Kretsvatsky Stadium, which was built as a centerpiece of Russia's hosting of the 2018 World Cup. And they're due to stage this year's the 2022 Champions League final, becoming only the second Russian city to host the biggest game in club football, following Moscow's staging of the 2008 final between Man City and Chelsea, which if I'd have watched it, I probably would have gotten sick because I don't like either one of those games. St. Petersburg. Oh, and I got to tell you what that doggone dog-faced man Aaron Rodgers said today. Oh, St. Petersburg had initially been scheduled to host the 2021 final, but the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic led to UEFA staging the 2020 and 2021 finals in Portugal, Lisbon, and Porto, respectively, with original hosts Istanbul and St. Petersburg being reallocated their hosting of the final in 2023 and 2022. The prospect of St. Petersburg, the base of major Champions League sponsor Gazprom, hosting this season's final is now in doubt, however, due to escalating political tensions between Russia and Western governments. The UK government and the European Union have served notice in the past 24 hours of a readiness to impose stringent sanctions on Russia following Russian President Vladimir Putin's declaration on Monday that his country now recognizes the independence of Ukrainian regions Donetsk and Luhansk. With regard to the 2022 UEFA Champions League final in St. Petersburg, we would like to inform you that UEFA is constantly and closely monitoring the situation, and any decision would be made in due course if necessary. Today's action in the Champions League in the round of 16, the knockout stage, the first leg, Villarreal and Juventus in a full-time tie, 1-1, and in full time, Chelsea wins again, 2-0. And the thing that makes it interesting about Chelsea winning, they're in a Champions League final, they're in a European, the English Champions League final, and they're also in, there's one more silverware tournament that they're in. And all these games are like in the next 3 weeks, like 2 games this week, I think another game next week, then they got another premiere. It's, man, wow for those boys. Well, good luck to Chelsea and to American Christian Pulisic, I think it's his name, right? Who I like a lot. And speaking of football, the United States women's national team, the soccer team, settled a suit versus United States Soccer for $24 million. U.S. women soccer players reached a landmark agreement with the Sports American body to end a 6-year legal battle over equal pay. What? a deal in which they are promised $24 million plus bonuses that match those of the men. The U.S. Soccer Federation and the women announced a deal today that will have players split $22 million, about one-third of what they had sought in damages. The USSF also agreed to establish a fund with $2 million to benefit the players in their post-soccer careers and charitable efforts aimed at growing the sport for women. You know what I saw this weekend, Bliss? I don't know if I mentioned it yesterday, but if I did, forgive me. I'll mention it again, though. On ABC Sports, all day, women's sports on Sunday.
Yeah.
All day. It was so cool to see the women play basketball. It was Tennessee against South Carolina, and then they had the U.S. women's national team play. I'm like, yo, I would like to see more of that. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I went to a place where they serve drinks, and on the TV screen they had all these dudes on, and I'm like, yo, man, I don't want to sound a certain kind of way, but the best game you're missing is this game between Tennessee and South Carolina, and they turned to it, and I was proven to be right. It was great. So yeah, man, pay the soccer ladies their money. It's ridiculous that these women do not make a fair amount of cash, because what do we do when they get in these tournaments and start winning? We're all USA.
I know that's yeah. Yeah, they're like especially that team, like everything they've done over the last decade, they're like national treasures. They're fun to watch. In fact, my son, little Jack, who turned 8 yesterday, when he plays FIFA, that's who he plays with. He plays with the women's USA national team.
Because they're good. And I believe Dennis Bobby's daughter's playing on that team. If I'm not mistaken. They have the U.S. men's national team is going to be good. It's a year or two away from being exceptionally good, but they keep losing to Canada, which is very troublesome. Scott says there was very little coverage of men in the Olympics. There's a reason for that. Also, the Olympics that just passed in last summer's Summer Olympics were like 80% of women competing. Yeah. Molly said, "See you tomorrow. Bye." She also says she has to go and thank us for letting her join us today. And then she said to the robot, blah, blah, blah. And then she went, "Sorry, that came out wrong. You don't have to apologize." And Jackie's joining the stream as well. And Scott, you are oops, I said your real name. Tete, are you at home or something? Because you're still with us. This is odd. Usually he's on his way home from work. Finn has joined the stream. Okay, Finn. So Juwan Howard was fined the remaining 5 games of the season and $40,000 or something like that. I'm going to say this again because I think it's important to remind people that there are 2 things in play. You can't put your hands on somebody. That you just should not do. And also how you react to that in the view of the camera. You have to be mindful of that if you're the coach of any team. People were screaming for him to get fired. I knew that wasn't going to happen. They're not about to fire the coach of the year. Now, that doesn't mean they won't fire him next time he does something like that. It doesn't mean he won't get fired next year, but he wasn't getting fired for that at all. And then they were all screaming about, well, he needs to take anger management classes. Well, no, he doesn't. What he needs to do at the end of the day is not do what he did. But also the coach from, do you remember Generation X or Generation DX from the WWE? When they used to do the thing down there, the coach from Wisconsin did that. I only saw that once this past weekend, only on Trigger once. But he definitely made that gesture. He was mad. Juwan was mad. You're just not this isn't going to end well with everybody being pissed off at each other. This time that he's taking off is going to be good time. And, it'll work out. It'll work itself out. Now, here's another case, though, of where someone truly does not get it. And this person's name is not Juwan Howard. It's a junior hockey league player. Paul Halloran of the South Shore Kings will no longer be able to participate as he was banned by his junior hockey league for life for punching a ref in the face in a non-ice confrontation that went viral. The action taken by a USPHL player is completely unacceptable, Bob Thoreau, the commissioner of the United States Premier Hockey League, wrote in a statement. The USPHL has zero tolerance for any player striking any official at any time. The player in question's actions have led to a lifetime ban. The incident is currently being investigated by local authorities, and as such, the USPHL will have no further comments at this time. Yahoo Sports reported the player was Paul Halloran, 20, of the South Shore Kings, a team based south of Boston. Dave Jackson, a retired NHL referee, wrote on Twitter, "This is an inexcusable act, and it's why we're losing minor hockey officials at an alarming rate. Imagine that was your son or daughter officiating." If you've seen the video, it's terrible. He straight sucker punched my man right in his face because he was mad about a call. And he should have been banned for life for that because he's a player. 20 years old, and that's your tact. Let me punch the ref because I don't like what he said. You probably don't need to be playing hockey. And again, as every time we do a hockey story, I encourage you to get the book Game Misconduct. My man Evan F. Moore is one of the co-writers. It talks about the toxic culture of hockey in the United States and how it can be fixed. And there's yet another example of it. Game Misconduct. Get that book and read it. And Tay is still at work? What? And Molly got back on the stream. And Reese has joined us too. So is Gregory and Carl. Thank you guys. What do we got here? One more, Gliss. Oh, it's Major League Baseball. So I'm starting to get the feeling now. I think they're going to get this taken care of. I don't have a guarantee about that, mind you. I think they're going to get it taken care of. 5 hours in the boardroom on Monday, sometimes together, sometimes in their own caucus. Didn't equate to major progress between MLB, Major League Baseball, and the Major League Baseball Players Association, as the sides remain far apart on a new collective bargaining agreement. In the offices overlooking the Springfield, where the St. Louis Cardinals and Miami Marlins train, leadership from both sides began what is an important week of negotiations in order to preserve opening day. I think they're going to get to opening day. I think the issues that they're super far apart on are fixable. It's just a matter of deciding you want to talk, right? You gotta humble yourself a little and be willing to talk. I don't know. I heard a great reporter by the name of John Heyman say today that he thinks around March 1st, which would be next week, that this should be resolved. I think it may be March 2nd or 3rd, but they're going to get it together. There has to be baseball, and it has to be on time for this to work. The sides just got to sit and stay and talk and reason and figure it out and really get it together. I know Portland does not have a professional baseball team, but you guys got minor league teams like the Pickles, and those dudes need to start playing too. And I don't know if they're going to be doing that right away, but I would imagine because I know they're working out in Major League Baseball facilities, but they're not playing. I know that if they do get this resolved next week, things are going to move kind of fast in the free agent world. So we could see White Sox finally get a second baseman. We could see if the Yankees are going to sign Carlos Correa. That's something to look out for. There's a bunch of pitchers that still need places to go. It could be interesting times in the next couple of weeks for Major League Baseball. I'm excited, man. I'm ready. I'm getting new hats this week, I think. New hat shopping.
We're almost to March. That's when I start to get the itch for watching some Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Usually break out Major League, throw that on. Get me in the mood for some baseball.
You got to. It's a way that it has to happen that way, because that's how you start the season up. I think much like I start basketball season off reading Rockin' Steady by Walt Clyde Frazier. One of the best books ever. Oh, that book is so cool, man. I tend to start baseball season if I'm lucky enough to go to opening day. And it's all luck. It's never like me going, I'm going to go to opening day and buy a ticket. Someone is always nice to me and finds a way to get me into a game. If it's an opening day game, that's when I'm like, okay. If I know I'm going the day before, I just think about the last game I saw. I probably won't do that this year because the last game I saw, the White Sox got kicked in the face. But I really am looking forward to baseball. I love baseball a lot. I am excited. I feel like the White Sox are going to be an interesting team. I think the Dodgers are going to be an interesting team again. I think there's a lot of
God, I hate the Dodgers.
I don't like them that much anymore either. But there's a lot of you sound like I do about Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot happening. Kershaw might say I don't want to play for the Dodgers anymore. I would welcome him on the south side of Chicago. He can come.
I'd welcome him anywhere.
I'll take him off your hands. Are the Giants going to re-sign Chris Bryant? Probably not.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He was a good piece at the end of the year, but I think they thought of that as more of a rental piece. Where I mean, that team last year they won 107 games. Like that was not expected to happen. No. So I think they're going to try to piece. You know, they have a lot of young pieces. I think they're going to rely on kind of trying to build it up the right way as opposed to giving someone like that a bunch of money.
I'll tell you what. And I'm going to say it now. This is what I had in my head about a week ago. Bryant's going to sign with the Chicago White Sox and play right field.
I can see that.
Absolutely. And they're going to sign Gene Segura from the Phillies. They're going to make a trade. So then, because of the universal DH, they're going to put Andrew Vaughn in left field and let him and Eloy switch up. Chris Bryant is going to be a White Sox. I think the first three, I said last night on the Chicago Game Show, the first three moves that the White Sox make are going to blow people's minds. And I believe Chris Bryant is coming to the south side of Chicago. I think because look, that's a bat. That's a dude that can play multiple positions. If Moncada gets hurt, he can play third. He can play he can play first. He can play left, and he's played some center. And because your left fielder and your center fielder tend to get hurt, he can spell them. He doesn't miss many days. He can hit. And in that ballpark, he could be a superstar. I think the White Sox are going to sign Chris Bryant. I'm probably the only one that thinks that, but I wanted to say it out loud so when it happens, I look baseball smart.
You know, he's still a really good player. He didn't play bad for the Giants down the stretch. I just think that there's a lot of other teams out there, like maybe the White Sox, that are going to value him more than the Giants do. I can't remember. They signed someone. I can't remember who it was. Right in the beginning of free agency, that to me kind of signaled like, okay, they're not going to pay him the money that he's going to get somewhere else, and that's more why I say. Money. Right,
Sox got the money. They can.
He's a good player, man. I mean, he can play a lot of different positions. You know, he's a good clubhouse guy. I like Chris Bryant a lot.
He did good while he was with the Giants. He did really great when he was with the Cubs too, and I can't stand them, but I liked watching him and Anthony Rizzo be Rizzo. Arda has joined the stream, Gliss, and so is Hutch, who asks, "What's your favorite sport?" You go first.
That's a tough question.
It's tough.
Oh man, I don't even know if I can answer the question realistically. Like, I grew up playing basketball. Like when I was just like you're the drive, I'm now basketball.
Right, I'm the drive. That's right. I forgot about that. I'm the drive.
Yeah, but I grew up baseball, basketball, football, all those I loved them, but basketball was like the sport that I played like 6 hours a day with my friends, which is why I'm having my second knee surgery tomorrow. And but baseball like always held this special place in my heart. There's nothing like going to a baseball game. The experience is so unique, and postseason baseball is just, it's so elevated. I feel like in comparison to the other sports, because every little thing that happens can change the trajectory of not only the game but the series. And football. Who doesn't love football? It'd be hard for me to choose, but I think baseball is probably the most unique game that just like when the Giants are good, like there's nothing like it.
Right. I can see that. My favorite sport to watch is probably, as I've gotten older, is soccer or football.
Okay.
My favorite sport when I was little, and that I would play today if they would let me, is baseball. Without question, I play baseball.
Yeah.
But I like Formula One racing. I like dumb sports. I like curling. That's not a dumb sport. People.
Oh my God, curling is so fascinating to watch.
Isn't it? Like, that's what I'm saying.
It's like if you see curling on, it's like almost impossible to turn away from it, because it's just like
Shawshank Redemption of sports.
Yeah, it's so captivating, and it's like it puts a spell on you, and you like can't turn away from it.
Andy Dufresne was trying to it's the Shawshank Redemption of sports. I don't care what I'm doing. If curling comes on, I'm like, stop, don't turn yet.
Yeah,
let's see what's going on here. I don't even know what's going on. I just want to see it.
Yeah,
I want to see it with the broom. Yeah, I want to see all that. See it all. Let's take a real quick break. We come back with a story that's going to take you to your dinner table with something to talk about. And again, I haven't read either of these. I'm going to try to get to both of them, though. It's The Drive with Morgan Smith here on Backchannel.tv. 12 minutes in front of the hour. Firefighters have rescued a dog from a roof of a New Jersey home. And oh no, look at this dog. It's not a fire. The dog is just on. How the hell did this dog get on the roof? Firefighters in New Jersey brought a ladder truck for an unusual rescue involving a dog that wandered out from a second floor window and became stranded on its owner's roof. The Bogota Police Department said in a Facebook post that officers responded to the Bergen County home Sunday after a dog knocked an air conditioning unit out of a second-story window of a home and wandered onto the roof. Police contacted the Bogota Fire Department for assistance, and firefighters responded with a ladder truck. The post included videos of rescuers using the ladder truck to approach the friendly canine, which happily approached the firefighter and licked his hand. The dog and the fireman all made it back home safely. That dog was like, I want out. He kicked out the air conditioning unit. That dog was playing games. Not at all. Oh, God, this is a good one. Thank you. Gliss, 2 days in a row of knocking this out the park. This is great. A runner takes on Canadian half marathon while wearing 90 T-shirts. Not T-shirts from the 90s. 90 damned T-shirts.
This just sounded entertaining. Like you just, it had to be mentioned. So, like, I don't know why this was happening, but you can't just go past something like that.
No, you cannot. And thank you, 2 days in a row. Dylan Pickles yesterday and his dog and out there. Oh, this is great. A runner I made my mind up, man. I'm never going to read front of mine before the show. Like, I'll read the stories before the show.
Okay.
I'm going to leave that alone. Just so this can happen. A runner in an Alberta half marathon attempted a Guinness World Record by taking on the 13.1 mile course while wearing 90 T-shirts. David Elliott ran Sunday's hypothermic half marathon in Edmonton while wearing 90 T-shirts in an attempt to break the Guinness World Record of 76 shirts. Oh, geez, people are doing this, which was set by British runner David Smith in 2019. It hurt. You think? Global news after the race. It feels great to be done. I had an amazing team behind me. Elliott said he trained for 5 months before the attempt, but still hit some unforeseen difficulties from the weight and construction of his wardrobe. I had a lot of issues with construction on my arms, in the first lap, and the crew was able to help me get through that, Elliott said. Elliott said evidence from his attempt is being submitted to Guinness World Records for official recognition. Quote, oh, this is great. There were a lot of great stories that came out of yesterday's race, and mine was only one of them. Elliott said in an Instagram post, everyone should be proud of their individual accomplishments. I'm not wearing 90 t-shirts, bro. I don't care what you do. No.
So, wow, I've become more and more particular about what I wear as I've gotten older, and like comfort is like a big thing for me. There is no way you could get, like, you'd have to pay me so much money to wear 90 t-shirts to do anything.
I have on 2 t-shirts most times, and that's just so I don't want people seeing me sweat, because that's just some Mario stuff. But I'm not wearing 90 of them. That is so Canadian. But I don't even know if that's Canadian. I'm trying to go to Montreal for a trip, so I will be investigating further the desire for men to wear 90 shirts. That is crazy. 90 shirts. On this day in 1900, Hawaii became a U.S. territory. I remember this day in 1980, Gliss. I was living in South Shore here in Chicago, and I was sitting in my house. I was in 7th grade the day that the U.S. Olympic team beat the Soviets at Lake Placid 4-3. That wasn't the gold medal game.
No.
But you couldn't tell me it wasn't. That was it. That's when I was like, word, hockey, done.
And also, miracles?
Man, Al Michaels, one of the greatest calls ever. Young Al Michaels, too. On this date in 1983, Harold Washington, Illinois Congressman Harold Washington, won Chicago's Democratic mayoral primary on his way to becoming our city's first black mayor. Remember that day very well, too. A lot of contention to follow in his run for mayor. He ran against a dude named Bernie Epton, who had absolutely no chance in the world of winning because Chicago elects Democrats. However, because Harold Washington was black and Bernie Epton was white, he had a really good chance of winning in Chicago, and it got weird, but Harold Washington has proven to be one of our stronger mayors and is revered to this day. They just did a mural right down the street from my house of him. It's beautiful, man. Every time I walk past it, I just look at it and I'm like, we're working on it, Harold. We're working.
That's cool.
Julius Irving's birthday is today. He turned 72. Singer, bassist John Brandt from Cheap Trick is 67. Gosh. Drew Barrymore, who I'm a big fan of, is 47. I did not know this. In 1986, a Fine Young Cannibals concert was delayed until 2 o'clock in the morning because someone threw tear gas into the audience. Who on that stage threw tear gas into an audience? What the hell is this? That is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
On some drugs or something.
Yeah, it was what's his name singing "She Drives Me Crazy." He was like, "I hate this song," and he threw the tear gas.
I think that song's catchy, man.
I love that song, but I mean, he had to. It was the Hey Ya of the '80s. So he sang it like 60 million times. He's probably like, sure. Stupid, she does drive me crazy. I'll show you all. Kiss by Prince and the Revolution. That can be. I didn't even know I was going to be doing this. That can be found on this album.
There you go.
Hit number 1 on the U.S. Top 40 chart and stayed there for 4 weeks. It was the first. Entered the U.S. Top 40 chart. I went too fast. What a Man by Salt and Pepper is certified gold in 1994. And in 1997, Wannabe by the Spice Girls hits number 1 on the U.S. Top 40 chart. Stayed there for 4 weeks. It was also the first British act since the Beatles in 1964 to top U.S. charts with a debut single. Real quick, you'll personally know this one, I think. Not you personally, but you'll yourself personally will use 4,239 rolls of toilet paper during your lifetime. That's about 50 a year, and you'll spend 1.5 years of your life in the bathroom. Wow. A poll of U.S. adults reveals that 14% of people say they play video games several times a week or more. 65% of people surveyed said they pay the full sticker price at a car dealership, even though they don't have to. Man, I'm not going to get to all of them. It's no secret that the majority of people will take the hotel toiletries when they check out. 1 out of 5 people that do will put them out when they have guests spend the night. And a study from the University of Toronto says that when people are interviewed in a brightly lit room, they are more honest. My job interview for the last job, my current job, was in a room that was not lit at all, and I was super honest to the point that they hired me anyway. Remarkably so.
I like dark.
Shout out to the promontory. I was in the dark the entire interview. To all of our passengers that were on the drive with us today, my name is Patty. Thank you for joining for the first time. Birdie, Laverne, Arda, Hutch, Diane. Hey, how you doing? Leonardo, Cardboard in Hawaii. Shout out to Hawaii. Molly, who we thought was Marley. Gregory, Cole, J-Lo, Nathan, and sometimes C, Bella, Marley again. Sunny, Chandler, Verona, Deborah, some guy named Gliss, who I know I just talked to a second ago. Charles, Amanda, and Steve, and then another Gliss. Thank you all so much for being passengers today on the drive. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, yeah, we got to talk. I don't know if I'm going to... You guys, Gliss is going to get his knee tightened up so he can roundhouse kick people in the face at Oregon. And we're gonna wish you well on your surgery tomorrow, my man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you later, but I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Brody. Everybody, thanks for watching The Drive with Mario Smith tonight. I really appreciate you. On behalf of everyone at Backchannel.tv, we wish you a wonderful evening. As the sun sets in Chicago, Illinois, I'm Mario Smith. We will see you beginning tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern for Backchannel.tv with Haley and Allison. Everybody have a great night. Be safe and enjoy.